Thank you. How's everyone doing? Are you guys fired up for some RevOps talk? Yeah? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, big shout out to TechTO, Northeastern, all of you for showing up today. What a great event. I know it's a sales event. However, really a lot of the topics that I'll be talking about is go-to-market. So talking about all the functions that live across the whole customer journey and understanding how it all works and how you can think of it more strategically. And you know, my personal background, I joined an early stage startup by the name of ChronoGolf about 10 years ago. We went through an exit and then to Lightspeed Commerce, if you're familiar with the POS and payment solution out of Montreal. We were at about 3 million in AR at the time, and while I led sales and customer success and go-to-market, essentially brought the company to about 50 million at the time that I left. So a lot of the topics that I'll be talking again is like around RevOps and why thinking with a RevOps mind is so important if you want to scale, but also more importantly in your own career, being able to understand the more holistic picture of it all. And yeah, let's jump into it. The RevOps as a whole, you know, when you think of RevOps, it can be many different things. It could be the individuals that are the tech admins of the CRM, of the Gong instance, whatever tools that you're using, but they're also creating the foundation. What are the metrics that you're using to determine what is success? What are the stages that exist across that customer journey? What is the attribution model? What are your lead sources and so on? There's then a whole planning component. As you scale, you're very much involved in the planning process and setting those board level targets in terms of what that represents in an actionable plan for each rep, each function, and so on. And then, you know, there's the whole context piece, which is as a RevOps individual, when you're looking at performance, when you're looking at the plan, and you know you're reporting to the leadership team, you're wanting to give them an indication as to what the numbers are, what's happening within all teams, and what are the reasons as to why the numbers are what they are, right? So really sitting across that whole customer journey, you're the one that's in charge in terms of giving that feedback to leadership and leading those strategic decisions. So really acting as that mesh. So if we go deep into each of those foundations, the planning and the context piece, the foundation, you're really setting the playbook for the business. A lot of you have probably been exposed to the typical marketing funnel. For the sake of the presentation, we're going to look at it as a bow tie. It shows the whole customer journey, lead to expansion and retention. And the idea of creating the foundation is about breaking out that customer journey into all of those aha moments, the milestones, where there can be handoffs across different teams. And you start to essentially have a naming convention in terms of what those stages represent. You first have a lead, it converts to an MQL, to an SQL, sales qualified lead, it gets accepted by your sales team, and then that becomes pipeline, then it gets closed and onboarded, and then eventually expanded and hopefully not churned. There's then, understanding between each of these milestones, where you can optimize. What are those conversion rates? Looking at what is good, what is wrong, looking at trends over time, and adding in even time. And this is where sales velocity and being able to focus on reducing that time so that you can improve the capacity of your team. So really breaking it out this way allows you to focus on those micro improvements that lead to eventual compounding growth. So that's really the theory behind it, right? You have the volume metric, you're looking at conversion, you're looking at time for an output at each specific stage. And also RevOps plays a role where they're focused or trying to help with that process and orchestrating how teams can work better together so that essentially you're optimizing this whole machine. You then want to break it down even by sources, by channels, right? Like if I'm breaking down my business and I have different initiatives across marketing, across my sales team, across partnerships, you want to be able to look at that customer journey respective to all those lead sources. Your motions, if you have a mix of PLG and sales-led, again, you want to break down that customer journey specific to those motions. And then dimensions being, your industry, your geos, whatever other way that you're breaking down the business. So again, you're looking at it through that whole bow tie, and once you start to have those channels, you start to have functions, and then you can start to map out, okay, there's handoffs happening specific to between the functions. Functions are responsible for specific volume metrics, and there's the respective handoffs. And you start to look at your business across these different motions as a factory, a revenue factory that has production lines, and all basically rolling up to higher level revenue goal. So again, that's the way that you want to break down your business and how RevOps is there to really create that foundation. The planning piece, which if a few of you have been involved in planning, hopefully I'm not giving you guys too much PTSD. When I think of my time in my past, even being part of a publicly traded company, this is where, as you're approaching the end of the year, you're literally splitting your brain in two, where you're trying to close out the fiscal year, but also trying to plan for the next year, and all this is happening all at once. And we're talking about Miru, but yeah, if your end of year ends December 31st, good luck. So yeah, not a good time. But the board planning is one where RevOps is very involved with the CRO. They're preparing that plan. You're reviewing it with the CEO, the CFO, and then working with the board for approval. And there's a constant back and forth. It's a very painful experience that I'm sure a few of you have experienced. What's extremely important in the planning is you want to do a top-down, bottom-up plan where you're looking at the board goals and then taking that whole bow tie approach and saying, okay, what were the conversion rates in a specific channel? How can we reverse engineer to how many leads we need? And then representing that in rep targets. But that's how a lot of companies, that's the sole way that they plan. You need to also do a bottom-up where you're looking at what can actual teams achieve with the resources that they have, and where does that bring up to the board level? And then that's where you get coverage. Are you sending your team on a death march to achieve their goals? Or do you have to maybe deploy more resources to essentially get to that top-down target, right? And again, all bringing it back to the bow tie, having that foundation in place allows you to then properly plan and get to a model that makes the most sense, both on a bottom-up and top-down approach. The context. We spoke about RevOps being important in reporting, giving the understanding as to what's happening in the business. A huge part of that is business reviews, creating that weekly business review that's going out to leadership on Monday morning so that people know what they have to execute on the week. It's performance deep dives, it's unit economics. But a lot of that is just like what's happening, right? Like it's the news. You're reporting the news to the business in terms of what's happening. We're in a moment now where you can really explain the why behind performance. If it's properly modeled out, you can explain, okay, well, we missed our target because of a conversion rate, but looking at the tech stack, we can actually maybe come up with the true cause as to why that conversion rate is down, right? And then you're getting to a point where RevOps is really at a point where they're able to influence decisions and really course correct when times aren't going right. I put this analogy here, like, the skateboard, right? We all want to have fun. We want to be on that skateboard, enjoying, and that's what you're trying to achieve. But when RevOps is just putting together the trucks, the skateboard, the wheels, and giving that to leadership and giving that to teams, as a CEO, you're not really going too far with that, right? And that's the whole point of RevOps, really putting together, orchestrating everything so that leadership, the decisions can be made, and you're just having fun on that skateboard. A lot of what is possible now, and when you're orchestrating the whole customer journey and modeling it out, you start to get all your different tools and able to connect them and place information across the customer journey. And when you have it segmented the right way, you start to be able to get some interesting outputs. And this is just an example, right? Like if I'm looking back at calls and accounts that didn't convert, and I know at a certain point there's a call that took place between that stage, right? Knowing and treating the LLM in a way where it knows where to look and get the information is key. And that's where the notion of a context graph is, if anybody is across that, that's where organizing the information in such a way where there's an identity map, essentially, of all the relationships that exist between all the data points in the business, and also orchestrating the outcome history, what's happened historically that's been able to lead to successful transitions and so on, right? So that's a huge part of where RevOps is maybe, what we're thinking in terms of what's headed, and something that we've been able to crack the code on the Vasco end. So again, when you think of RevOps, it's the data sources, but it's orchestrating everything so that then you can deploy your agents and even get to external agents. And all this is, yes, it's doable on your own, but without the context graph, you're not having that causality. You don't have that identity resolution component, and your business is ever evolving, and to maintain that infrastructure is very difficult. So just to put it out there, like, accuracy is key, especially when you're reporting numbers, right? If you're iterating multiple times with your LLM to get an output, and you know what the context is around that, and you're then trying to get a number and you're querying it, if you don't have the understanding of what that true number is, you're bound to run into mistakes, and good luck deploying that across an org when accuracy is not where it needs to be, right? So again, really focus on the data. That's a huge part of what needs to be done now in RevOps. And yeah, hopefully this piqued some interest for a few of you and the topic of RevOps. So we'll be addressing this later in the talk with Miru. But thanks a ton for being here. So we're gonna have, sorry? Yeah, if you guys have one or two questions, happy to, yeah.
I saw a slide there on the bow tie framework with all the roles. There was like onboarding, account management. I just want to take a picture of that slide. Can we get these slides?
Yeah.
We can share it in the post even we had if Justin is okay with it.
Of course. There you go.
Okay. Thank you. Another question?
Any more questions?
Any other pictures? You want me in it like next time?
Hey Justin, thank you for the great talk. Specifically, you had the factory slide where you had a couple different channels rolling up and creating that revenue factory. How do you think about that, and like how does like funnel stacking play into that?
By funnel stacking, what do you mean exactly?
Like cracking one funnel, whether it be email, outbound, cold calling, and then like stacking that and then transferring it to different ICPs or to different outbound or inbound channels.
So the way I see it is you have a specific channel that you attribute to a lead, right? And then that exists within a motion, and then you'll have multiple motions that make up those production lines, right? So within each production line, you have a makeup, which is your channels and what you allocate to where the leads are coming from. And then, yeah, if you have an attribution model on the side that's able to allocate it, then even better, right?
Thank you, I understand.
Anything else?
Thanks for the talk here, Justin. Just curious, since joining Vasco, is there something you always thought you knew about RevOps, but maybe has changed since kind of seeing the way that Vasco can really break it down and get into it, that maybe was a illuminating moment for you?
So I won't go too much in detail there, just because we're going to talk about that with Miru. But yeah, in terms of where it's headed, there's definitely a big shift, especially with everything around that analytical work. I believe that a lot of that can be done now at a much more automated level, right? So it's much more focusing away from that analytical work. Cool. Yeah, so let's move on to, sorry, I just need to jump ahead here. Sorry, be quick on those pictures, huh? All right, so who we have next? We have Jason on the customer success side from Rootly. Again, we're trying to tackle different parts of the whole go-to-market. So very excited to hear your talk, and yeah, let's get it.